Let's start off the show then by putting the spotlight on Simyog, which is an electromagnetic interference and compliance stimulation and testing program. They've actually closed a funding round of about 20 crore rupees and aim to expand their global presence. We've got Professor Dipanjan Gope, who is the founder and CEO, now joining in. Thank you so much for taking time out. I just want to understand a little bit about what you do. It was a bit of a tongue twister reading what the introduction is, but give us a sense as to what exactly the business is.
Yeah, sure. So at Simyog, we develop enterprise computational software for front-loading EMI EMC, right? So just to explain that, electromagnetic interference is a problem that occurs when you put multiple electronic systems together. Let's say, for example, a pressure sensor, right? A pressure sensor might be working very well as an individual unit, but when you put it in a system level, like in an automotive or an aircraft, because of the interference or the noise from any other system, it might malfunction, right? So what we do at Simyog is primarily analyze this at the very early design stage. For example, during the development of the hardware, when no prototype is available, to give an idea of how this electromagnetic interference is going to show up when the hardware is made. So the idea here is that you can solve the bugs. If there is a problem in electromagnetic interference, you'll be able to solve it way early in the design cycle. What happens today is that you have a prototype and then you go to the lab, it fails, you come back, re-prototype, and that takes around 6 to 12 months. If you're able to do this analysis in software level, right, with the data of the hardware, the software data of the hardware, then you're able to fix it at the design stage. First time when you make the hardware, you're so to say sure that it will pass in the laboratory. So it saves time to market and bill of materials for our customers.
Sure. So now let's talk about the fundraise, Mela Ventures, it's been close to a fundraise with some of the previous investors as well taking part in the round. Can you take us through this overall 20 crore fundraise? What is it going to be utilized towards?
Yeah, I think this comes at the right time when we are planning to expand both from a product perspective. Our customers always want more and we want to provide more. So there are product side improvements as well as go-to-market expansion that is planned through this new fundraise. From the product side, as we were talking about today, our product does primarily analysis, right? In the future, we will also be doing diagnosis, which is like, if there is a problem, the tool itself will tell you where to fix the problem, right? Also, we want to take this to a SaaS, offering. Just as you go to the laboratory, pay $1,000 a day and get it tested, you would be able to basically submit it on our website and get the virtual results similarly, right? So with a SaaS sort of a backend. That's more on the product and a little bit on the GTM. And of course, we are very bullish about US, Europe, and Japan markets. So this funding will help us, significantly increase our presence in these areas.
So take us through what exactly will be the contribution of Mela. Will they also be participating in terms of decision making for the company?
Yeah, I think as you know, right, Mela is headed by operators themselves, right? Both Partha and KK have tremendous experience in the field of growing a company to that level. So we are looking at, at their mentorship, to bounce ideas off them. Of course, they'll be providing us with the contacts, the network that they have. But we are, as a co-founding team, primarily looking at their mentorship, just to be able to bounce our ideas off them and get the right kind of a feedback. And not to mention Idea Spring Capital, right? Naganand continues to be a supporter from day one. He also has been an entrepreneur. So we have been blessed with investors like IdeaSpring and Mela who have gone through the entrepreneurship journey themselves. So they understand the pain points of the founders, and are there always to guide, as well as Bosch, right? Bosch, not only as an investor but also as a customer, very blessed on that front.
And of course, you have to be at the forefront of technology. So how are you looking to really capitalize technology, anything new age tech that you're looking?
Yeah, I think we are, we use the term deep tech quite often these days, but this is, as deep tech as it gets, right? And so the technology for Simyog was developed actually out of Indian Institute of Science, where I'm a professor. So we developed this technology since like 2014 onward, and sort of we started the company in 2017. The first product came out in 2020, compliance scope. So the foundation, the technological foundation of this is very strong, right? At Simyog, of course, we have taken it one notch higher, added some database modeling parts to it, right? So in general, our technology is a combination of two parts. One is very fast physics-based solvers, right? Very fast solvers from an algorithm perspective, as well as from high-performance computing perspective. And on the other side, so that's the solver side. On the other side, we also make models, right? And these models are made using data and training the data, and building models out of that trained data. So it's a combination of this physics-based and a data-based approach.
And what's the long-term view then as to how you plan to scale the business? What are your growth projections?
Yeah, I think, as every entrepreneur's dream is to, take it to, a level where shareholders get their value back. And one of the reasons why Mela, IdeaSpring, Bosch are partnering with us as well is we want to see more. We want to contribute. Simyog wants to contribute in this sort of electronics IP, market, so to say, at a global level, right? So, I talk to my colleagues about this, right? So if you look at an electronics product made in US, Europe, or Japan, used in India, there are lots of them, right? But if not many of the Indian products that are used in US, Europe, Japan very often. Now there's a lot coming along, and so we also want to contribute. So our goal is to take it, to a level where, where it's a significant force in the world market, from a computational software perspective.